Hi guys, this is kbunschoten, the president and founder of Certum Solutions here in North Carolina. And today's video, I'm actually knocking out a bunch. I've had some great meetings lately and they inspire many questions. But I'm getting a lot of questions about the differences between QuickBooks Desktop and the differences between QuickBooks Online and whether or not people should go between one or the other. Now, I'm the first one to tell you, here at Certum, we've done over $1 million in software implementations and sales over the last year. And we believe in best Cinderella fit. We're not going to push you to QuickBooks Online. We're not going to push you to desktop. We're going to talk to you and have a conversation about what's going to work best for your business. I apologize. This hair on my face is just holding on for dear life. Okay. So one of the questions that popped up was about sales tax. How do I use sales tax in QuickBooks? You know, what do I do to set it up and so forth? I thought, you know what, that's a great comparison video because it works a little bit differently in online, much like many other things. One of the big fallacies that you could fall into is thinking, well, it's QuickBooks and QuickBooks. How different can it be? Oh, buddy, strap yourself in because it's different. Okay. The other thing is that during this video, we're going to talk about a third-party application. So with QuickBooks Online, especially and with QuickBooks Desktop, you know, there's times when a third-party application really enhances your experience. Okay, why have one big program with all the bells and whistles if you have a part of that program that you just don't like the way it works? We're not all carbon copies of each other. Our software shouldn't be either. So in that case, you want to look at third-party programs, okay? Now, so that all being said, before I get started on this video about sales tax, if you could just do me a favor, if you like this kind of content, you like the comparisons between QuickBooks Desktop and QuickBooks Online, you like the content, you know, about third-party applications or sales tax, or just like listening to me talk and so you can laugh at me when I screw up, whatever you like my channel if you don't mind. That tells me that people are listening, that they want to hear more of what we have to say. If you like this kind of content, like the video too. So like my channel, that way you know when new stuff's coming out. Like the video, because then you're saying, hey, this is the kind of stuff I like to hear. I don't want to hear about all those shenanigans that you talk about the rest of the time. I want to hear about this, okay? And then lastly, if you really want to talk, send me a comment in the comment section or shoot me an email. Let me know you thought about this video, okay? Now, I'll stop talking about that now. We're going to get on to the next thing. Okay, sales tax. Right now in a sample file in QuickBooks Enterprise, okay, it looks way different from QuickBooks Online. I'm going to do my swap-a-rooney thing I do. Swap-a-rooney. This is QuickBooks Online, guys. This is QuickBooks Desktop. This is QuickBooks Online. This is QuickBooks. Oh, crap, I broke it. Oops. Crud, I broke it. I'm so sorry. Okay, moving on. Moving on. Technical difficulties. All right, so moving over here, you have edit and you go to preferences. This is where we're going to set up our sales tax. And then it says, do you charge sales tax? And for the purposes of today, I'm going to hit yes, although I'm fully aware what you're going to say. I'm a manufacturer. I don't charge sales tax. All my clients are exempt. Why are you doing this? You're a complete moron. What are you even doing with your life? I'm aware a lot of manufacturers aren't going to charge sales tax. I'm just using this video to show how it works, if you would. Speaking of which, if you don't charge sales tax to your customers, make sure that you're getting those exemption certificates on file and attach them to your customers in QuickBooks. Do yourself a favor, okay? So here it says, do you charge sales tax? Yes. Then you're going to hit add sales tax item, okay? If I'm just in a perfect world and for those states or places that are, and your sales tax is so simple that you only need this one line, tell me where you are so I can move there. So you can just use this regular sales tax item. So this is sales tax simple item. Unfortunately, here in North Carolina and probably in your part of the world, if you have a cheat sheet, by the way, of barcodes that you register or what have you, and you want a barcode, look at, you can add one here. And I'm just going to put 7% there. And then I'm just going to put revenue, Department of Revenue. Do I have a Department of Revenue in here? No. I'm going to do a new vendor. So look at you. You get to see two things in one video, Department of Revenue. Okay. So then it says Department of Revenue. So if it was super simple, maybe I just have a state rate. I am challenging myself by even trying to think of a state that's like that, but there, I'm going to say that maybe you're in Cinderella world. There is your one sales tax item. There you go. You add that in there, and that's your sales tax item for one person. And look, I can do most common, simple sales tax item. However, for those of us in places where you have state rates, you have county rates, you might have city rates, you might have transit rates, you might have this rate, that rate, and it's Wednesday rate. I don't know, but that's where you want your sales tax group, okay? And this is a complex sales tax item. There's actually a term for it, and you guys are going to tell me what it is because I'm just going to blame it on the COVID. I can't remember what it is right now. Combination sales tax. Thank you. I knew it was in that cobweb somewhere. So if it was that, then what I would do is I'd take the combination of my simple items. So say, you know, I'd have sales tax item. I'm just going to say state rate. State rate. State rate. I'm just going to have 2%, which usually this would be flipped, right? The bigger ones usually state and the districts are usually smaller, but it's fine. I'm just trying to get this done for you guys so you can see how this works. So my group rate is 9%. This is what I'm doing. And then if you have the other things like your other parts, you can set that up. You can notice something about this, right? You've probably picked up on it by now. This is a manual process if you don't have a third-party app. So I've just saved it. I have sales tax simple item there. If I wanted, I could make it my group, okay, which is probably what you do if you have these combo rates. You want to make sure you pick a group. Then it says assign your sales tax code. You don't have to worry about this being a global force upon every transaction you have. This is just a global preference, okay? Typically, are your items going to be taxable or not? You know, make sure that you tell these taxable items are T for taxable when printing and so forth. I would say yes. When do you owe sales tax, accrual or cash? I know people on both sides, so we're just going to leave that the way it is. Do I want to make all my existing, and this is when you save it for the first time, make all my existing customers taxable, make my existing non-inventory parts and inventory parts taxable. I'm going to hit OK. Okay. And once that's done, it's cleared out because it's saying that I've just made this change and it went in. Now, if I go into my items here, let me see if I can do my taxability. I'm customizing my columns for those of you that aren't sure what I'm doing here. I attempt and I try to make sure I know what I'm doing most of the time. I'm not going to say I always win on that. Okay, so here you can see in my right-hand side, I've got sales tax column that's now popped up because I've enabled that preference. And in case I haven't said it already, preferences are incredibly important. If you're early in your QuickBooks journey, you've just started working with QuickBooks, do yourself a favor and look at your preferences because there are also preferences where, like turning on FIFO, for example, you have to set a date. It's much easier to do that early in your QuickBooks usage than later on down the road because there's also certain things that could change your historical numbers. So when in doubt, go with the KISS method. Try not to change what you don't know what you're changing. But that being said, you know, things like setting up your sales tax and stuff, going through your preferences, make sure you do that earlier rather than later. Okay. So we've got our sales tax turned on. Let's go into one of these pool covers to take a look at how that looks. You can see everything set up here. Okay. You got your tax code done. It says, what kind of tax code do you want in your sales? Is this non-taxable or taxable? So if I had set all this up and for some reason I had maybe set up a service as a non-inventory part or something that's not taxable and is set up as taxable, I would go in here and I would fix that here, okay? Now, so we've established what so far? We could set up sales tax manually in QuickBooks Enterprise. We can change the preference of how that inventory item is treated within the inventory item screen. What's the next piece? Customers. I have customers and maybe one of my customers is taxable. The other one is not taxable. Am I right? Look at this. It's like they read our mind or something. If you go in the QuickBooks Customer Center and you go to this tab called Sales Tax Settings, you can then do your configuration for the customer itself and what the sales tax treatment for the customer would be. So we hearken back to the manufacturing, wholesale, things like that. You might not be selling to your end user clients. You may not charge sales tax. In fact, a lot of them would scream at you if you did. How do you handle that? It's simple, George. You get that sales tax exemption certificate from your customer. Before you change this, mind you, do yourself a favor. Get that exemption certificate. You put their exemption number here, okay? And then if they are taxable, you can mark their complex sales tax item, okay? But if it's tax code non, you want to mark that. You want to put in their resale number, blah, 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 blah. And I want you to go a step further for me. I want you to get back in your customer screen and hit this attachment button and attach an image of your exemption certificate. Why? Because if for some reason you get asked, do you have an exemption certificate on file for this customer? You can say, what now? Let me hear from the back. Yes, I do. So you definitely want that turned on. If you haven't noticed by now, I'm feeling a lot better than I was when I did my alternate vendor video. Poor world. I feel sorry for you. Anyway, so we've got that done. We've got our sales tax set up there. Let's go into an invoice. So here's an invoice we've got. You've marked it. That's already defaulted to non-tax. Any guesses as to why? I can tell you why, because you just marked them as a non-taxable customer. If I would have marked them as a taxable customer, that would have all said tax. That being said, I get in my invoice. For some reason, I forgot to put it in my customer record. They're not taxable. These items, for some reason, they've been marked as taxable from my item list. So just use your imagination. This comes over as taxable because it's taxable in my item list and I didn't set up my customer, right? You can change it here too. So you can change it where, guys? We could change it as a global preference, change it on our item list, we change it on our customer list, we can change it on our invoice. So sales tax is not hard in QuickBooks Desktop. There's a lot of little buttons we need to configure to start, and then you're good, okay? And then right down here, you're going to want to pick your item. But since this was not taxable, it's not going to tell us when. So here it goes, complex sales 9%. You can see it's not calculating anything. Why? Because this said it's not taxable. But if I change this, look at what that did. It just calculated sales tax. So all sales tax is extremely flexible in QuickBooks Desktop with Enterprise. You can configure it at every level. That being said, you know, it doesn't bring in your tables for you. It's kind of like basic payroll, right? You're bringing in all your tables and you're entering your sales tax items. What if you don't want to do that? There's a really cool app that I use called Avalara, and we've been working with them for a while now. And if you'd like an introduction, I've got a good friend over there, gets us some good pricing over there. So just send me an email and I'll introduce you. But there are apps that you can plug into your QuickBooks Enterprise that will not only help you with the sales tax tables, but depending on what you choose with them, they'll actually do your filings for you, just like payroll. So if you decide you've got the manual version, which is what we're doing, if you decide you want that higher level of service, let's use Avalara or another sales tax software. Now, moving on from there, let's move over to QuickBooks Online, which again looks nothing like desktop, right? I'm going to do a lot of this because a lot of y'all call and you're like, isn't it kind of the same? And I know I've already said this, but it is not. And I just want to make sure that we give you the opportunity to see those differences as often as possible. So let's go to our sales. Forgive me, I don't do this. You'll notice one thing when I'm doing my videos. So Katie works a lot more with Enterprise than she does with online. So sometimes Katie's a little doofus. And I'm trying to knock these videos out today. So yeah, so you get to watch me be a doofus. So here's my demo environment with QuickBooks Online. And I went to sales tax for the first time, apparently, and anybody ever doing a video with sales tax online shows you how often we've done videos with sales tax. And we're going to pick an agency, and it's going to want us to see what we need to do. Now, one thing you've noticed maybe from here is that we have not entered, let's see here, custom rates. So we've got custom rates. With QuickBooks, you've got your single rate, you've got your combined rate there. Okay. And then you can also hit add agency and so on. Now with QuickBooks Online, they will actually bring in your rates for you to a degree. Yeah, I believe they bring in all your rates for you. So, but make sure you confirm that with me. Yes, they bring in all your sales tax rates for you. You can set up your agencies and they'll detect where you do business. And it should work that way. However, if you experience it a different way or you have questions about it, you want to run through it with me, let me know. But also, if you need help with QuickBooks sales tax in QuickBooks Online, we can also use Avalara to help you with some of your filings there too. Anyway, that's the end of this video. I appreciate your time with me. If I can help with anything else, please let me know. And till next time, guys, I'll talk to you soon. All right, bye. Okay, so if you watch the video that I was just doing, I'm having this appended to the end of it because this is what happened. I got through the desktop piece. We jumped over to online. We started working with online, and then I had what we would call an unexpected result, and I couldn't really see where it was automated, so I dove in a little bit more into QuickBooks Online sales tax. And this is what I discovered by talking to one of our amazing Cubo people here, and in diving in a little bit more myself. So with QuickBooks Online sales tax, it's another one of those things where it says, oh, it's automated, and it's not. What it does do is it brings in your tax tables just like payroll would and the rest. And like I mentioned earlier, it does not file it for you, because I was going to say I had in my head it filed it for you. I was misremembering. So you would want something like Avalara to help you file that sales tax with QuickBooks Online too, which also would be really helpful, you know, especially with e-commerce and everything. If you needed those filings to be done on your behalf. That being said, I want to finish this video out because I wrapped it up really quick because I was sitting here going, well, shoot, I need to research this. And I was like a dog with a bone. I had to close out. But I'm not re-recording this whole thing because it's at the end of my day, quite honestly, and I'm tired and you're tired of hearing me, and I want to make sure that we get you sorted. So with North Carolina, it did bring in our tables. And then as we were looking at our sales tax settings here, your custom rates actually are ones where here's your default items that it pulls in for you. Then here's your custom rates. These are ones that you set up yourself to maybe override their automatic settings. So if like they bring in a certain rate, maybe you're in tobacco or something else and your rates are a little bit different, you don't want to bring in their default rates, you can set up custom rates down here to apply instead. And so to do that, you would just sit here and you would pick whether single or combined, which is a little bit easier than desktop actually. Set that rate up and you're good to go. Okay. And similarly, if you need to add an agency and stuff, so that's your sales tax settings in QuickBooks Online. Then I don't think I touched on what Nexus is, but each state has different varying degrees of how you hit Nexus. It's not this magic potion where, ooh, it's one day I was a normal person, the next day I was Nexus. No, it's there's certain thresholds of activity and presence and stuff that each state will actually tell you you have Nexus here. And what this will do is if you click this Nexus, it's going to tell you whether or not they think you have Nexus in different states and why. And there won't be a whole lot here because it's going off of what's in the sample company file, but it's going to say, hey, I think you have Nexus. Like here's Arizona. I think you might have Nexus here. Did you meet your threshold for Nexus? And it tells you what Nexus is in that state. Okay, this is saying your required sales are $100,000 in Arizona before you hit Nexus. It's saying I haven't hit my threshold. I don't have to worry about it yet. Okay, most sales tax, if not all sales tax, is typically calculated based on the destination address, so where your buyer is, not where your house is, where their house is. Okay, now that being said, always check with a tax advisor, check with your local or your state Department of Revenue on what their sales tax rules are. If you need help there, again, we have Avalara in our pocket as a solution for this. We love those guys. It's a great program and great people. So if you want to talk about Avalara, we're more than happy to help. So then I'm going to get out of this economic nexus piece. They also have some really good webinars on Nexus and how all that works if you're new to that kind of thing. So we've got our North Carolina set up, our Texas state set up, our California set up. We have our basis set up and our other details set up for all these guys. This is what they brought in. Okay, then down here is my tax return. Now this is where I was getting myself hosed up. So I was looking at it, I'm going, I could have sworn that they did this for you. It was automated sales tax. Well, I got myself confused, guys. It doesn't turn it in for you. They like to sometimes say it's automatic, and I assume automatic means I can go to bed at night, wake up, and it's done. It's not the case. It's going to queue it up for you to send it, but it brings in your tables automatically. So this one's for North Carolina Department of Revenue, and it's going to say print this tax form and fill it out. Actually, being from North Carolina, you can actually do that online. You don't have to do a printed form. You do your filings online, but check with your state as to how you will do that. Again, if you have Avalara, they will do a lot of this for you depending on the level of software that you get with them. Let me know, because they have everything from a calculator to Whoppy Doozler. You never have to worry about it again. Magical business. So but anyway, so this will tell you what your sales tax is that you need to do, and they'll say you can record the payment, much like in desktop. In desktop, you record your payment too, and you make any adjustments here as well. So this part's very similar. So that all being said, you've now kind of seen the difference between sales tax and QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Desktop. I apologize that I was not more polished on the online piece, but hopefully you got the information you needed to know. If I missed anything during this video, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment, send me an email. I'll get it fixed, I promise. Otherwise, I hope this is helpful to you and your business. And if I can help with anything else, let me know. And if you want to talk to somebody here at Certum, help@certumsolutions.com, 980-210-6946, and we'll put our Calendly in the description as well. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon. All right, bye.